enough of that. Sorry, it's like he's back there on the set.
Oh, you are
I love the film, I'm doing it. Shall we get my final guest out? Yeah! I think we should. He's the world's greatest action hero. He needs no introduction from me. It's Sylvester Stallone!
It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rivals, and he's watching us all through the eye of the tiger.
You know you've made it now. You know you've made it now. Go on,
choir. Wow.
It's only Sylvester Stallone, ladies and gentlemen. He's here with us.
Thank you.
Wow, great to have you here.
Yeah, it's great
to have you here.
Thank you.
Look at that. Well, first of all, I wanted to welcome you properly into the UK.
Thank you.
And say it was great to see you at the BAFTAs. And I was delighted at the response that you received from the audience when you came out.
John, I thought there was someone standing behind me. I said, is there Arnold back there? No, really.
Because I was a bit worried, because, you know, obviously it's a fairly, it's kind of people who take cinema seriously in a different way. They're not necessarily a commercial cinema crowd. And I thought, well, I hope they show you some respect and they're not a little bit sneaky. No, they went bananas for you.
No, I was actually I was surprised, because I think that British cinema is fantastic, because what you fellas don't have in, economy to make big action films, you make great stories, and now we can just put the action with the story, we got something going.
Yeah, you did meet the two in the middle there. But I know you love British movies, you're a fan of British films and cinema in general. But when you travel around the world, what kind of reaction do you get normally? What do people want to talk to you about? Which of your films, which of your characters are they most keen to have you talk to them about?
Well, I would definitely say it's probably Rambo, no doubt.
Really, Rambo?
Yeah,
Rambo usually, more than Rocky?
Yeah, usually, like, Rocky's more in like America, but usually around the world, people come up and stab me and say, "Hi, Rambo," cut. You know, they're like, "Hi, how you doing?" So that kind of a thing. So I don't know, more of a menace around the world. Yeah, the Rocky is more of a passive, but Rambo definitely is. For sure. Yeah,
because Rocky, I guess, was quite a kind of not a soft, but quite a sensitive character. Whereas Rambo is more of a tortured soul, and I guess people respond to that.
Yeah, Rocky was more of a poet at heart.
Okay, well, let's start with the Rocky movies then, because I love the Rocky movies. Okay. They're not all great. There's some great ones in there, okay. You know this to be true. Okay, give me your score out of 10 for each of your Rocky movies, Mr. Number 1.
10.
I think so. I think we'd go 10 out of 10 for number 1. What an incredible movie. How many people came out of that thinking, I'm going to be a boxer now? Yeah.
I caused more young Italians to get retarded. Everyone thought you could be a fighter. I said, no, it's a movie.
Rocky number 2.
I'd say about 7.5.
Yeah, I think you're being generous. Number 3.
3 I liked. 3 I have to go up to
I love 3.
I have to go up to about 9.
Because 3's the one where you got Mr. T in it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great film. 4.
Toughest one of all, the hardest hitter, Dolph Lundgren. I have to give it well, not a montage. I give that about 7.5.
Pretty good. I like that. I like the training sequence. He uses high-tech training.
Exactly.
Rocky just drags a log behind him and chases a chicken.
Eats rope.
You gotta eat thunder. You gotta crack
thunder.
No, it's the other way around. When you give me a slap, I'm stuck like this.
Rocky 5.
0.
No, was it that bad, Rocky 5?
Yeah, it was bad.
I don't remember being quite as bad as that.
No, it's just, it was goose egg. I was definitely not there. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do the last one. Because I said, if you're going to end up on doing something, like, you can't, it was so bad, so off-key, that was the impetus to do the Rocky.
And the last one actually wasn't called Rocky 6, it was Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, which means the end.
Yeah, so really, you wouldn't do another one?
No, what am I going to do? I'm not going to fight arthritis. How do I get a clogged artery? Yeah, my guy.
Part of me is very glad to hear you say that, because I love the character, I love the journey I went on with him. Part of me also would love to see more. If you kept making, I know I'd keep going to see him. How did you get back in such good shape for that? Because, you're not as young as you once were. And I know I've seen some movies in between where you let yourself go a little bit.
Yeah, in Copland, I did. Actually, it was great just to let myself go. But I thought, it becomes like a habit, It's like if you know you're running on fear, if you know you're going to be on film forever, it's kind of like it'll get you going to the gym. Normally, I would wake up in the morning, just brush my teeth with a cannoli and say happy, great, just eat everything. But normally, when you have something that's driving you, you have to do it, and then afterwards you let it go.
And how long did it take you to get back in shape? Because as you get older, it takes longer, doesn't it?
Oh God, it's like every day. Yeah, it becomes like a habit every day. You're going to this gym, and I hate it. Believe me, I do. It's not like, oh, great,
Yeah.
I can't wait to go in there and get a hernia.
So when do you think you're going to relax and say, okay, you know what? Because you're obviously keeping yourself in shape now, and you kept yourself in shape for the Rambo movie, but.
You know, I think it's kind of an occupational hazard now. It's pretty much what I do, and it's become a habit. And like so, I'll probably try to always stay in some decent shape.
So you do some sort of workout, but maybe not as much to keep yourself.
Oh no, like the last Rambo was brutal. That was a tough one.
Okay, you know, I've seen the new Rambo movie. It's called Rambo 4. It's out. It's not. I would have thought you'd think they'd rush it out for Valentine's Day, but no, it's out next week.
Why? Because they cut a few hearts out.
It's a perfect date movie. You know, I loved it.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of it's not a surprising movie as such, but it kind of feels like the character. It makes more sense now.
Yeah.
You know, and you directed this as well.
Yeah, I did. No one else wanted the job. This is true. Some of them snakes, centipedes, jungle.
Yeah, where did you shoot it? It's meant to be near Burma.
It's right across the Salween River from Burma in northern Thailand, and it deals with the Burmese situation as the longest running civil war in the world. 60 years it's been going on. So it was a very dangerous film to do because they didn't want it made.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, but the thing is, we get more injured. I thought we'd get more injured doing the stunts. The thing is, you do the stunts, you get blown off a mountain, you roll down, you get covered in flame and this and that, and you know, avoid snakes. Then you get up and you trip going into your motorhome and chip your teeth. You know, it's always after the stunt is when you get laid
well,
up.
because I guess you're relieved and you're not
exactly
focused.
right.
But it's pretty intense. It must have been a pretty draining shoot because there's a lot of running, a lot of chasing,
No,
and just the conditions there.
It's a very violent film. It's no question about it. It's what we call in America a hard R. Because a lot of films, and the action films are great, like The Bourne Identity, Board Supremacy, they're fantastic. But I thought, let's go back and do old school where it's just mano, no stunts. We actually couldn't afford CGI.
Yeah.
So the snake
really?
is a snake,
CGI?
you know, the bomb's a bomb, and things like that. You just, you know, that's what it is.
That's why I like it. But you know, you said it's a violent movie, and it is ultra violent. And part of me, you know, you want to see that in these kind of movies. I mean,
well, it's a real war film, and I thought, you know, I can't soft pedal it. After you've seen Saving Private Ryan and Black Hawk Down, if you're going to do a war film, do it. Otherwise, just you know.
Because the earlier Rambos were pretty tough, pretty hardcore like that.
They were kind of like angry hairdressers. You know, it's like, here he goes, he was at a headband, a tank top.
You did look a bit buffed and a bit. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Check that out. Look at that.
Oh, God.
That, my friend, that's a feather cut right there.
You see this in Beverly Hills, actually.
But now, what's good is your screen presence has changed. Obviously, you know, you're a little older now, you're a little thicker set now, and the character reflects that. Your screen presence, I think, it's almost like you've grown into that character.
Yeah, I have. I thought if I'm going to do this, I cannot make it more of like a vain thing. So I don't go around in tank tops, and he is thicker. He's kind of like this beast of burden. He's self-imposed, living in the jungle for 20 years.
Now, let's talk. How many people do you think that you personally, as John Rambo in this film, get to dispatch? How many people do you kill?
Well, you know, population has gone up in the world since Elvis. So, and in fairness, probably about 300-400.
Well, 300-400. Okay, it's easy 300-400, and you see most of them.
But they deserved it.
Yeah,
they did. I swear, they did deserve it.
Well, let's have a look. Before we go and talk about this, let's have a look. This is Rambo 4, and it's actually called Rambo 4, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't know. Here they may call it John Rambo.
John Rambo.
Is it called John Rambo here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're in charge. You can call it what you want.
It was a Rambo in America, John Rambo here.
John Rambo.
Rambo 4 on this show.
Okay. Well, whatever you call it, it's the latest Rambo movie. And do you think the last one, or would you go back to this character?
No, this one I'd love to go back to.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear you say that.
It's like losing. You don't get an opportunity to play this kind of character very often. I mean, at first, in the beginning of my career, I said, oh, it's kind of a stigma and a stereotype. Now, I'm really proud to have been lucky enough to have this.
It opens on the 22nd. Have a look at this. You want a night out where you see a lot of bad guys being dealt with? That's the way to go. So hold on. We have a list of the deaths in the Rambo movies that we think this is fairly accurate. In First Blood 1, okay, number 1, there's one death every 94 minutes. They reckon. You only kill one guy in Rambo in the First Blood.
Small budget.
Okay. First Blood Part 2, 67.
Now we're talking.
There's a leap. One death every 87 seconds. Time of first death, 33 minutes in. You've got to wait for it. Rambo 3.
Rambo 3.
108 deaths. One death every 56 seconds. Time of first death, 41 minutes. Rambo, deaths, 236. One death every 23 seconds.
Now we're talking.
Time of first death, 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Boom. No hanging around with that one. Don't arrive late. You'll miss one of them. Right? So you might do more. You would consider going back because I feel this story you could tell more.
You could, because now he's back. Well, we don't want to say the ending, but there is. I'm telling you, it's very hard to find a character that kind of represents the loner, the outcast, the fellow who did his job for his country, and the country turns his back on him.
Which is kind of timely. It's always been timely,
exactly.
I guess, but it seems more so now.
It is timely. Yeah. It is. 10 years ago, I don't think it would have been right, and it was a long shot to do it. And I knew, people make jokes about it, but I said if the story's good and the Burmese situation is something real, it may work.
We have on the show next week. I like to think of the English version of Rambo, a fella called Bruce Forsyth. Now he's 80, but he's kept himself in remarkable shape. He's still working on a regular. He's a big star.
I saw him in a magazine. He's looking good.
He's looking good.
Yeah.
So conceivably, you could do this for another 15, 20 years pretty easily if you looked after yourself.
Well, until I'm a skeleton. I'm just looking.
Well, so you could be a cameo part then maybe. Just once. Let me ask you about your writing, because you've always written, and one of the things I've always admired about Mr. Stallone is he didn't wait for his opportunities to come his way. He created them for himself. You were out there working, you were writing ideas, and you wrote the first Rocky movie, of course.
Yeah, I didn't have much time. There was an opportunity. I went in there actually as a job as an actor, and they said, well, no, you're not going to get it. And on the way out, I said, and I write a little bit too. Well, if you have anything, I didn't have anything. So the opportunity was open, and I ran home, and I thought about what would it be like, Everyone's got a Rocky kind of story. And I thought about Rocky Marciano. I started writing, and a few days later, I had a semblance of a script, but it's a good enough idea to get my foot back in the door. I mean, people say, well, you wrote it in 3 days. No, I wrote a thing in 3 days.
So you had the idea
exactly
in 3 days, more or less.
Exactly
and then you went and polished it.
Yeah, maybe 10%.
And how hard was it to then sell it? And how hard was it for you to hang on to the role?
That was the hardest part, because I said, let me explain something to you, Mr. Stallone. You're a zero. You're nothing. We don't know who you are. Your closest friends don't know who you are. So they wanted Ryan O'Neal or Jimmy Kahn or Burt Reynolds or Robert Redford.
Hang on a second. Imagine if Burt Reynolds had been Rocky. We wouldn't have taken this. His wig would have gone flying off with the first punch. The corset would have popped open.
Bert.
Your life itself, it seems you've never written your autobiography, have you? You've never sat down.
No, I can't. I mean, I couldn't tell the truth.
Why not?
Because I'd be killed.
Because from what I've read about you in various interviews and articles, you've led a pretty crazy life. We know of your mother because your mother kind of came out of her shell a little bit as you became famous. Yeah. And she was over here on a reality show, and then they brought her together with one of your ex-wives, which I thought was a rather cruel trick.
Which one? The tall one?
The tall one.
Okay.
But then they became quite friendly. In a way, it was quite nice.
That's frightening, isn't it?
They overcame stuff. Yeah. Terrifying for you, I'm sure.
Like attracts like. No, actually, no. I'm kidding, Mom. I'm kidding.
But I don't know much about your father. What was how big an influence was your father in your early life?
Well, he was a tough dude. He was a real hard guy. And I think a lot of things I draw from Rambo, I got from him. He's a real salt of the earth kind of guy.
So he was kept himself to himself, kept his emotions pretty tight?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Very physical, very strong.
Well, you say that. I read one thing you said, and I don't know if you said that he once knocked out a horse in front of you?
Yeah, he did.
But he punched a horse?
He did punch a horse.
What had the horse done to deserve this?
Well, what it is the horse turned around and it hit him in the forehead and knocked him down. So he just got up and hit the horse, and the horse sort of staggered.
Uppercut, right hook, left hook, jab, hook?
Tell you the truth, it was a overhand right.
Wow, that's a big punch to throw.
Overhand right to the bridle, I think it was. A glancing bitch shot. But, actually the horse wasn't hurt, so please, no letters. And the horse did kick his ass later on. Trust me.
Let me ask you about your family now then, because you have a couple of sons who are pretty grown up now, I guess.
Yeah, they're a little bit older than I am now.
Proper grown up boys.
It's funny how your children start to outgrow you.
Yeah.
And three daughters.
3 daughters. How old are your daughters?
Oh my God. 12.
Young.
12, 10, and 7, yeah, youngish.
And you're enjoying family life? I get the feeling that you're enjoying it.
Well, I am to a point, but everything in the house is female. You got the housekeeper female, the dogs are female, it's obviously my daughter is female, my wife, so I don't stand a chance. It's like, so pretty soon I'm going to end up wearing a dress. I don't know.
I bet you love it, don't you?
I do, actually I do. It's nice. There's something about them to keep you honest. I was just talking to him right before I came on 10 minutes ago.
Oh, how nice. Hey, you know, I want to see you keep making movies, but I don't know if you're like me. As I get older, I just want to spend more and more time at home. I don't really want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything while I'm there. I just like being at home.
I thought it was just me.
Knowing they're nearby is enough,
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
I don't want to spend time with them even. I don't really want to talk to them, but I want to be in the same building. Yeah, it's like
the same vicinity.
I'm locked in the office, but I'm here, okay?
Right.
Now, here's the thing, and I would have thought this is a daunting prospect for any young man, is your young ladies are going to grow up and boys are going to show an interest and they're going to want to date them. And you know what boys are like. You were one yourself. They're going to want to get away with all the sweet stuff before they get permission from father. Now, what are you going to do about that, Sylvester Stallone?
Dun, dun, dun.
Here's the deal. There's a little guy, he's 15, he's come to us, let's mission. He presses the doorbell.
You want to do what?
Yeah, they're gonna be looked after.
No, it's gonna be horrifying. Their only chance that they're ever gonna date is if I slip on a bar of soap and break my neck, fall down a flight of steps, and I'm in a body cast for
you know
years.
what? By the time they get old enough, they'll be ready, and you'll know they're ready, and it's gonna be fine.
I'm too immature.
Let me ask you about before we part company, because I know you have to go. How much do you keep in touch with your fellow action performers of the 80s who you?
I do a lot. I mean, I see Arnold like every weekend, and we're trying to find a place. You cannot smoke a cigar left in California.
Yeah.
Now you understand that pollution is killing everyone. You cannot see 10 feet from it because of cars, but the cigars, watch out.
Now, so where do you go for that? Because I was in LA and I like a cigar myself.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was interviewing someone. I was down by the beach and I thought, I'll just stroll out here on the beach in Santa Monica, have a cigar. I went outside. They said, you can't smoke that out here. You can't even smoke it outdoors on the beach.
No, you don't. My garage.
That's where you.
Pretty much. I'm sorry. It's getting down to like this.
Yeah, but it's okay you say that. But how do I get into your garage when you're not there?
I know people.
Give me a beeper.
I'll give you a beeper.
And Arnie is governor. Did you vote for him? What do you make of him as governor?
You know, Arnold's a genius. I mean, seriously, he's had 3 incredible careers.
Well, he's a smart guy, of course. I know that.
No, he really. You don't want to say just. You know, he may not be able to sit there and split atoms, but he knows how to get things done. He knows how to move people, and if they would allow him, because our Constitution doesn't allow foreigners. Considering the entire country is made up of foreigners,
Yeah.
You know, they can't run for president. But
You
if
have to be born in the United States, don't you?
Born in the United States, and
he's
would
French
be.
or something, isn't he?
He's French Canadian.
Spanish. So he can't run for president. Do you think if he was to run for president, do you think he would get support? Do you think he would get voted in?
Unbelievable.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, he gets it. He gets it. And if you look at like an American politicians, all you need is the catchphrase. If you got a good phrase, you get it.
Well, he has one, of course.
And there it is.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Here we have him. When he was signed in as governor. Now that's a fine figure of a young lady.
Who wouldn't vote for that? I have nothing to hide.
Oh, that's a good look. Mr. Stallone, what a pleasure to spend time with you. I'm glad very much that we haven't lost you to politics because I want to see the movies. Keep them coming.
I'll try my best.
Rambo's out. As I said, it's out on the 22nd. Make sure you catch it, especially if you like seeing people blown to smithereens.
Who deserve it.
Yes, there's a moral message.
There is.
Mr. Stallone, lovely to have you here. Thanks for coming on the show. Sylvester Stallone, ladies and gentlemen. Great. I'm a fan. Come here, give me some love. Take it easy. Good, safe journey home. Sylvester Stallone, ladies and gentlemen.